Thank you. My story is not about local politics. It's about cannabis culture and America's war on drugs. So it actually goes back to the Nixon years. And I know most of you were probably not even born then, but I'm older than I look, and I lived through that. So my story begins in February 2013. I had a week from hell. I had to bury my dog, who had an incurable kidney disease, so I had to put down my dog. My car broke down. Toronto winters were driving me nuts. And as it happened, an old friend I hadn't seen in many years invited me down to Florida. And I thought, great, Florida. It also happened that my son was going to be there, and he had invested in some businesses and wanted to show me what he was doing. So I had 2 reasons to go to Florida. And Florida's not exactly my favorite place to go, but it was warm, it was a cheap vacation, and I was going to get to see the Keys, and I'd never seen the Keys before. So my week from hell was about to end, and I was going to Florida. Yay, found a really good cheap flight. My sister drove me to the airport, and as I usually do, I left my winter coat, my boots, my hat, everything in her car. Who needs that in Florida? So I get through showing my ticket, my passport, and as I hand my passport to the customs guy, I see a little flicker in his eye. It's like barely perceptible, little shadow crossed his face. And he said, "Over there." And I thought, uh-oh, what's up now? He was referring me to what they euphemistically called secondary. And I thought, secondary, okay, secondary interrogation. Okay, what's up? Off I go to secondary, where I'm now told that I'm to sit, not touch my bags, don't move, don't ask questions, don't pick up the phone, ma'am. And I'm like freaking, what the hell is going on? Now, as it happened, there were 2 cops. One was good cop, one was bad cop. And I watched the bad cop, who really looked like a bully, really harassing this poor girl, and I was overhearing bits of the conversation. And she was an Indian girl traveling to the US, and her big crime was she had too much baggage. Go figure, too much baggage. This guy was harassing her. "What are you doing with all this stuff?" "Well, I'm going to see my relatives." "I don't believe you. I think you're going to sell that stuff." The poor girl was in tears, and I thought, oh my God, she's getting like reamed out for having too much baggage. What's my crime? I still don't know. 40 minutes goes by. I know I'm going to miss my flight, and I'm starting to get agitated, and I thought, okay, they're really trying to upset me. I'm not going to let this happen. I'm going to sit here in my Buddha nature, very calm. And the whole time, bad cop is giving me these weird looks. It's kind of like out of the corner of his eye, like, "Ooh, we gotta watch out for that terrorist over there," you know, talking to his buddy. And I'm thinking, what the fuck? There's a guy sitting next to me. He looks like a businessman, and he doesn't look like he's being harassed. And he's sitting really close to me. And I realize he's a plant. They're on to me. I want to use my phone call. No phone calls. I go to grab my computer. "Don't touch that bag, ma'am. No devices." I've missed my flight. I still don't know why I'm being detained. 40 minutes, okay? I need to go to the bathroom. "Officer, may I go to the bathroom?" "You'll have to wait for a female attendant, ma'am." "How long is that going to be?" "We don't have any female attendants tonight, ma'am." This was really getting nuts. So finally, I get called up. I'm fingerprinted. I get laser printed. My eyes are scanned. I still don't know why I'm being detained. I feel like a criminal. I really do. I'm starting to get nervous. What the hell could be going on? So I said to the guy, as politely as I could, "May I know why I'm being detained, sir?" "We'll get to that later, ma'am." So bullying, bullshit. Finally, bad cop leaves and good cop shows up. And I said to him, "Sir, may I please know why I've been forced to miss my flight, why I'm being detained?" And he said, "We'll get to that in a minute, but I have to ask you some questions first." "Okay, shoot." Have you ever been convicted of a criminal offense? No, sir, not in the U.S. Anywhere else? Well, yeah, cannabis conviction in Canada, 1973. Like, you guys already know about this. Oh, I see. I said, well, it can't be that. I mean, I've never hidden this from anybody. Well, yes, I'm afraid it might be. I said, but I was in Hawaii last year. I've been traveling to the U.S. for 40 fucking years. Like, why is this suddenly a problem? He said, well, we have new screening procedures. And something came up. And I thought, what the hell came up? What the hell came up? So I'm scratching my head and I'm thinking, oh, I sent an email to a friend where I was telling her about my soon-to-be published book called Memoirs of a Hippie Girl, and I was doing some promotion, you know, so in this private email, I said, all about my brief criminal career as a teenage drug smuggler. Now, I don't do Facebook. I never trusted Facebook because I was afraid of Big Brother. I grew up in the generation where, like, we were afraid of the man, you know? But I thought emails were kind of private, like sacred, like you weren't supposed to open other people's letters. And so stupidly, I had incriminated myself in this email, thinking I had a really sexy, catchy phrase to help sell my book. So yeah, I incriminated myself. So the officer said, ma'am, I thank you for being so forthcoming with all that information. I thank you very much. And now I have to tell you that we don't want you. He didn't quite say it like that. He said, you've been deemed inadmissible. I go, what? Deemed inadmissible, ma'am. We cannot let you enter the United States of America because of this cannabis conviction. Holy shit. Okay. I told you guys about this before. After 9/11, I was asked on the train to the U.S. I've always been forthcoming about this. Why is it a problem now? Well, ma'am, we have new screening procedures and something came up. That's all I got out of him. So I said to him, does this mean like I can never visit the States again? I mean, my son's going to be there in Florida. I may have grandchildren one day. Like, you know, I want to go to the States, right? Like, why can't I go? He said, oh, no, it's no problem whatsoever. You just have to fill out this waiver. You have to get an I-95, and you just answer all these questions, and you pay $600, and bang, we'll let you come. Maybe. Maybe. There's no guarantee. You have to have this waiver every time you visit the U.S., and every time you fly over U.S. airspace, just in case the plane crashes, you know, and I might end up on their soil illegally. So I took this paper home and I looked at it, and it had 15 items on it. They wanted original police documents from 1973, original court documents, original prison documents. What have I been doing with my life for the last 40 years? How much money did I have? Revenue, property, who do I know? Who are my friends? Do I know any influential people? The list was endless. And on top of all that, for the privilege of giving them this information, they wanted me to pay them $595 American dollars. Well, fuck you! I was mad. I'm a 60-year-old woman, for God's sake, and I've lived a law-abiding, clean life for 40 years. I've raised 2 wonderful children. I work for the province of Ontario, for God's sake. What is this? Yes, my friends, they were snooping in my email, and their new screening technology was called Google. Now, I was so frustrated, and there's no fucking way I'm going to pay them $600. I don't have that kind of money every time I visit the U.S. and get fingerprinted every single time. Last year, I flew to Cuba, and I didn't tell them. I went through U.S. airspace without them knowing it. Because I wasn't going to pay fucking $600 for the privilege of flying through airspace in case the plane crashed and I landed on U.S. soil. Anyway, a lot of frustration around that issue, as you can well imagine, you know. So as an artist, I thought, you know, there's nothing else to do with this except write a song. And so I wrote this song called Homeland Security Deemed Me Inadmissible. Bear with me, folks. It'll be like a 2-minute song. little closer? Okay. This is already on YouTube, by the way, but I'm going to do it again. The song, you know, not the whole story. Okay? You can hear me? A week from hell, there seemed no end. I had to bury my good friend. My car broke down, my life's a mess. Toronto winters give me stress. A trip to Florida came in sight. I caught myself a good cheap flight. My heart was set to leave this town, but U.S. Customs brought me down. Oh, Homeland Security really tried to put the screws to me. Oh, Homeland Security deemed me inadmissible. Said I'm undesirable. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Might be a criminal. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, Homeland Security didn't want me. I ride my bike to do my chores. My face, sorry, I screwed that up. I've seen this world on a good passport, and every other country's been a sport. They say hello, how long will you stay? But U.S. Customs said, go away. I ride my bike to do my chores. My face is known in local stores. My credit's good wherever I go. The local cop even says hello. Long ago I changed my ways in order to survive the days. And if I would